Hey guys, this is ChessMasterStream, and today I would like to talk about how to set up pieces and how to start the game. So usually on the sides you see numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and white pieces are usually at the first and second rank, and black pieces at 7th and 8th rank. And also you can see letters, so starts from A. Well, I should flip the board, I think. So where's the option to flip it? I see. Okay. So yeah, white pieces starts from A1, so B1, C1, D1, so E, F, G, H, right? And the same goes here, A1, and goes up to H. I apologize, A8 and up till the H8. So this is how you set up pieces. And at work I saw my colleagues playing chess, and queen and king were misunderstood. Of course, it does not really matter in a friendly game, but usually when you have live chess set, king is always a little bit taller than the queen. So this is how you can recognize them. And the important thing is, when you set up the board, queen is always on its own color. So white queen always on white square, and black queen always on a dark square. And everything else should be simple. On the sides you have rooks, then knights, and closer to a royal family there's a bishop, so on a C1 and F1 square. Yeah, and the pawn on the first move can go 2 squares. It can choose 1 or 2, and every next move only 1 square. So let's say we have something like this, and the pawn can capture on diagonals. So let's say I take, they can take back. Important move to know is en passant. That's usually something beginners don't know. So let's say we go here, black do something randomly, knight out, and I push my pawn. So at this point black can move 1 or 2 squares, right? If they go 1, I can capture, and en passant rule is if they go 2, I have a chance to capture here. See, computer is showing me the dot, so I can move there. In case I go here, this pawn will be captured. So basically, imagine 2 armies on the field, and they try to run past this guy, so he can kill it while they run away from him. So yeah, this is en passant rule. Same goes on this side. So let's say I do some random moves. Okay, let's not do that. And let's say I move this guy, I can capture here. So yeah, taking the en passant. That is a really important move to know. Also, another thing is castling. So let's say we go in a standard position like e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5. It's called Ray Lopez. Yeah. So here, and now I can castle, right? So that means I hide my king in the corner, and rook comes here. So let's try. See, that's called castling. You get your king in safety and you get your rook in the game. So maybe someday on an open file. Same thing on the other side. So let's do some random moves. Okay, let's not hang the queen. And at this point, let's say bishop moves out, I can castle queen side. So what's the difference? When you castle king side, the rook and king switches places, so king is 1 square away from the edge of the board. And if you castle queen side, king will always be 2 squares away from the edge of the queen side. So why? Because here you have only 2 squares in between rook and king, and here you have 3 squares. So how to castle correctly? You always want to slide your rook till the king, and king moves over. So let's say here you slide your rook till the king and king moves over. That way you will always castle correctly. Another thing, in a tournament you can castle only with one hand, and king has to be moved first. Otherwise your opponent can say that was a rook move. So see, if rook moves first, they can just say it's a rook move. So it's important to move your king first, so it's marked as a castle. So some things that you need to know about this is you can castle you cannot castle through check, from check, and in check. So let's try to make some random position again. So let's do this. So they castle, I move the bishop, they move the knight, and I want to castle. And computer says I cannot, because I will castle in the check. So this is not allowed. Of course you can move the rook here, but the king is not allowed to move in the check. So let's see through the check, okay? Couple moves back, maybe I want to get that queen here. So okay, let's take the bishop away. So now I want to castle, and I cannot, because I'm castling through the check. Queen is covering the f1 square, so I cannot castle. This is very important to know, especially if you play tournaments at live chess games. Online, computer just does not allow you, and you will just stay confused and make another random move, right? But in tournaments, especially in blitz games, so in a fast chess, if you do this, it's called as illegal move, and the game is immediately lost. Okay, so another thing, from check. Okay, let's say queen comes here, bishop goes here, queen gives a check to the king. So what can we do? We can sidestep king, but we cannot castle. We cannot castle from the check. At this point we can also block with the queen, and at this position they just swap the queens, and our king is in the middle of the board, not in the safe square where it wants to be. Also the rook is here doing nothing instead of being active on open file. So yeah, but usually when there's no queens on the board, it's not that bad to have your king in the center. Actually, in the end of the game you want to centralize your king, you know, get your king more active, because the less firepower there is on the board, so let's say knights, rooks and bishops, and also queen, they are all gone from the table. Only some pawns are remaining. King's value and the fighting strength actually goes up. So this is why you want to centralize your king only in the end of the game, because in the early stage of the game or middle game, your king can get hunted down and checkmated. So obviously we don't want to allow that. So yeah, that's about it about the castling and en passant. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video, and yeah, subscribe my channel if you haven't already for more instructional chess videos. So yeah, thank you guys for watching.